stopped here at Williams Fine Violins in Luthier Studios. This guy has the most hysterical signs out front. Let me see if he's here. When you open the door, look. Well, nobody's at the desk. Hi, are you? Hold on, let me pause. Y'all, this is Dustin. Everybody say hey. Wait, let my camera focus. He's the luthier, right? So he makes all these really clever, funny signs. Can you tell us what the one says today?
What does it say?
Something like deck the...
Oh, deck the halls with bows of Pernambuco.
What is Pernambuco?
That's what bows are made out of.
It's what...
Wood.
Oh, really? Would you mind just giving me a quick lesson in like violin? I was looking up the guitar.
I lesson in physics as well.
That'd be great. I was looking up the guitar,
Scroll?
you know, the shape of a guitar. Yeah, on Eddie Van Halen's.
The head.
Yes.
Guitar, I guess it's the head.
And it comes back to that, which is the Fibonacci sequence.
Yeah.
Kind
basically.
of. So give me a little history of you and anything you want to tell us about the violin.
That's a long story.
Well, can you make it short?
Yep. I own this shop. This shop owns me.
It's beautiful in here.
It's been a long road to this point.
Where did you start, or when did you start playing? Like how old?
Well, young. I go back to in college. I double majored in classical guitar and bass, and I double minored in violin and cello. But I got my master's in bass, in double bass.
Let me get the mic a little closer.
Yeah, I got my master's in double bass, and then I taught orchestra in Texas for 6 years. Started all over again, and went to the violin making school in Salt Lake City, Utah. It's a 4-year violin making school.
Wow.
And did that, and then did another year's apprenticeship up in Canada. And then, I guess about 20 years ago or so, we moved to Nashville and opened up a shop on Music Row. We were on Music Row for, 15 years or so. And then the last 3 years we've been here. So yeah, for a year or so I worked out of my house and just decided to open a shop way back when. And we've been in this location for the last 3 years.
Donaldson, right here in Donaldson, y'all. And can you like actually make a violin from scratch?
Yeah.
Is that your shop?
That's where a lot of repairs are happening. I don't have time to make.
Can I go in?
Sure, yeah.
Can we go in? Y'all, this is so cool. I love Nashville. Wow. Okay. Looks like Eddie Van Halen's kitchen. So are you making a repair here?
Yeah, we're doing a repair, yep.
Okay, and then you've got a lot of parts. Those must be bass in the window.
Bass clamps, bass holes there, yeah.
It's kind of doing a silhouette thing.
Yeah.
And so, what can you tell me I love this, the spaghetti strings.
That's just from this past year.
Oh my gosh. What can you tell me about the beginnings of the making of a violin? These look old. Are these older?
They're just dusty.
They're just dusty. Okay. Okay, go ahead.
Making a violin?
Yeah, just a quick, like you could whip out a Stradivarius, right?
Yeah, exactly. It's like making a car.
Okay. You start with wood.
Start with wood and carve it in the shape of a violin. It's pretty complex, actually, believe it or not.
What kind of wood are they normally made out of?
The top will be spruce, and the ribs, neck, and the back will be maple. Always.
The top is spruce, and the ribs, is that this part?
Right. Yep.
And then the back will be maple.
One big difference if you're dealing with guitar guys, a big difference between guitars and violins is that they're not the same. Guitar makers get all excited about the wood, like, ooh, this is pretty wood, this is that wood. Look at the wood I used on this guitar. That's really nice. Violin makers, when we look at another violin, if we have nothing else complimentary to say about the violin, we compliment the wood. because the wood is the one thing, honestly, the maker has zero control over other than they purchased it.
Wow.
They didn't make that tree grow. That tree grew by itself. It's what you do with the wood that matters. Violin makers are kind of key to this. Guitar makers are kind of fooled by this.
Ah.
They think that the wood is what makes the instrument. No. This is what makes the instrument.
Yes, that's what everybody says.
Mm-hmm.
Especially.
There's a lot of very fine old Italian woods that are made out of barn doors.
Wow, that's amazing.
So wood is nice. It's good to have nice wood, and you want it to be pretty, of course. But that's not. Yeah, that's not.
The most important.
Yeah, it's important, but not that important.
What would I have to do to just get a couple of notes from you?
What do you mean notes?
Like notes.
Pay me.
Okay, so he's not going to play us a little note.
You're not.
Okay, let me ask one last question. I see some teeny tiny little baby violins over there. May I walk over there?
Actually, they're over here.
Okay. Wow, what a treat to go into his repair shop, you guys. This is super cool of you, Dustin.
Start them small.
Oh my gosh, look at that little baby.
It's generally, if you're going to be a classical musician as a grown-up, you start when you're 3.
Wow.
It's really hard to get into the best orchestras unless you're starting very, very young these days.
Where's a
Doesn't
little
seem fair, but,
where's a little bow?
they're hanging up over there.
Little tiny bows, like probably this one.
Yep.
Wow, you guys. Start at 3.
Generally 3, 4, maybe 5. But if you start at 10 and you expect you're going to be in a major symphony, that's going to be hard to do. Because already you've got kids who've been playing for 5 or 6 years by that point.
Wow. Just like ballet and stuff. They start them young.
Yep, except when you're ballet, I guess when you're what?
3.
Years old, 30
Yeah.
years old, you stop playing. Well, in music, you play till you're dead.
Exactly.
So-
Unlike dancing where you grow out of it and you have to teach. And, I just had one more question, and it just flew out of my head. Just the name of your shop, and if people want to contact you and maybe come over, you give lessons here, right?
Yep, we have 6 lesson rooms up there for violin, viola, cello, and bass.